Yes. Okay, so good evening to all of you, all those who have joined today. I equally like to welcome both of our panelists today. On this beautiful evening, we are going to talk about much of the trending topic, which is artificial intelligence. And we're going to talk about artificial intelligence with the context of supply chain and global business transformation. So, in today's evening, in this webinar, our questions and answers would revolve around the role of AI in supply chain and global business transformation. To share the insights on this topic, to throw the light of knowledge, we have got the two experts who are elite in this domain. On one hand, we have got Dr. Akhil Damodaran. Akhil sir, I would like to welcome you to this webinar.
Thanks for
And
having me.
just to give a quick introduction of Dr. Akhil to all the participants, he is the CEO of Alteridium Technologies, and he also holds sound knowledge in the domain of blockchain technology. On the other hand, we have Dr. Shantanu Trivedi. He's working as an assistant professor in the domain of supply chain and operations management. My name is Rutvik, and I've got this wonderful opportunity to moderate this event. I'm working as an assistant professor with UPS on Vertical. So let us begin this webinar. And once I'm starting this, moving forward, my first question is to Dr. Akhil. Much has been discussed about AI. There is a lot of buzz about AI, especially when we talk about the chat GPT. This terminology has come to the mind of all, although AI had been in the market, in the existence for a long time. We'd like to understand from you that how do you see this term? What are your opinions on this? And just to add on to this question, also we would like to understand that what do you think that how it could help the business processes being successful? So over to you, Dr. Akhil.
First of all, thanks for having me for this great opportunity. And I also want to thank my another expert here, which is Dr. Shantanu as well. So before I start moving forward, I think Ritik, the question which you have asked has a very complex journey, to be very frank. Okay, so I'd like to put it the way how AI can be defined. So to be very frank, AI, if you look at it, is not automation. Okay, so if somebody is getting mistaken for the fact that things are going to be more automated, it will be more productive, etc., etc., which the companies are giving ad, that's not exactly AI. That's what's happening for the last 40 years. The reason why AI is becoming a revolution or disruption in the last 3-4 years for that matter, and ChatGPT, as you gave an example for it, in 2022 when it was released, the reason is because now you have a kind of natural language programming, machine learning platform, which is able to do exactly what humans do. Now, when I say what humans do, it doesn't mean that you are able to do what humans can do in terms of thinking. No, it's not. The reason is the only reason why we are different from other animals is because we learn from a mistake and we evolve. That is how we have been evolving the last 10,000, 20,000 years. If you look at our whole journey, I mean, as a species, we have learned from our mistakes. We have not created anything without struggle. Every time we have struggled with something, we came out with some kind of solution. It came out to something else and everything happened. Everything around us is exactly based on learning from the environment we have. And that's how we evolved. This is the first time you have a machine which is exactly doing the same. I mean, you give it a kind of challenge or a problem, it is trying to solve it. If it is not able to solve, it understands it's not able to solve, and it's trying to understand how it can be solved and trying to create more and more idea. That's exactly what the phenomenon called AI. And I specifically gave this example because there are students who will be there on the other side. So I want to give them not a complex definition of it, but I'll tell you the exact reason why AI is called AI, not automation. Well, the reason is it exactly learns the way the humans do. But why it is more disruptive? Because if you look at ChatGPT, which is generative AI, it's not AI, it's generative AI. ChatGPT, when it's launched in December, in January, if you tried using it, most of the time it gave an answer that I am an AI and I'm a language. I cannot. I have limitations in terms of X, Y, Z, so I may not be able to answer this question. That answer is now getting dissolved day by day. Now, if you give a question to it, it is able to give an answer. That evolution took human being almost 200 years. It took ChatGPT 6 months. I mean, that's the reason why AI has been given that much of predominant importance. So the second question which you asked is how it is disrupting the business. My answer to you is, first of all, it is the good part of AI. It is not sector specific or industry specific. It is being getting into every single domain possible. So what wherever humans are able to use data, you will find AI getting into it. I mean, that's how I want to make a nutshell to it. So if you look at any industries, for supply chain, especially supply chain, if you look at it, or security, if you look at it, or if you look at that for movie industry, everywhere you will see a lot of AI is coming into picture. Is it helping the business? Yeah, it is helping the business. Why it is helping the business? First of all, it analyzes data much better than the previous one. It learns from data much faster. As I said to you, because it's called AI, so it's learning from the data much faster. It is able to give you a much better decision. It's not accurate. That's where we come in picture. I mean, it's not accurate. I mean, it may be giving the faster decision or data, but it doesn't have the consciousness to understand whether the decision which is coming out is actually a right decision or wrong decision. That's where we come in picture. It is more productive. Yes, it is more productive. If you look at ChatGPT, I mean, all the students here, I would say 90% of the assignments have been dissolved. We have so I mean, there's no authenticity in the assignments anymore. I mean, because it is getting spread everywhere around. But at the same time, the assignments which I give, which they are providing, are they right? That's you cannot rely on ChatGPT for that. That's the whole point. What I'm trying to say.
Exactly.
So I mean, with further question coming up, I think we can have more discussion on the business part of it. Over to you, Ritik. I think
Okay.
Shantanu is waiting
Okay.
for
Yes, yes,
for
definitely.
the yeah.
So yes, we'll definitely take your point. And for participants, it's really very important to understand, as you said, that AI and automation both are very different. The second takeaway from this first question is it helps us to connect with the data, to interpret the data, and humans' role is crucial. So further, we'll talk about humans' role in this era of artificial intelligence. But before we talk about this, another interesting question. I would like to ask this question to Dr. Shantanu that how he sees artificial intelligence and how he sees the role of AI in global supply chain management. I mean, to what extent it is useful or to what extent it can help human beings reduce their efforts.
Okay, so how it can be useful? Thanks, Ritvik, for this opportunity. And how it can be useful? I mean, it is being useful, and it is being. That is why it is being used and implemented by the industries. You talk about any large corporate, whether it is Walmart, whether it's Merz in terms of shipping. You talk about any company like Siemens. You talk about Unilever Group. All these giants are using AI in some way or the other. And now I'm not talking about the AI that we also were being using for the very long time. It is like now how it is being used by the industry in some ways, in terms specifically in terms of operations and supply chain management. So I'll just give you a brief about how these companies are using and why and where these companies are using artificial intelligence technology in the area of in the aspects of supply chain management. One important aspect that is starts in terms of the supply chain management is the suppliers or the OEMs, original equipment manufacturers. So how those suppliers or original equipment manufacturers can be rated, can be analyzed. So that's a very humongous task because you have the data from the suppliers all across the year. Now it would be very Herculean to manage and analyze and identify which would be the best of the best suppliers for you, because you have thousands suppliers in automobiles, in electronics, and many other sectors. So how would you do that? So instead of you doing all this job, there is now AI to give you better insight about identifying and selecting, helping you in selecting the best and appropriate supplier on the basis of certain data that you get. Now with the help of data, you can now expand your analysis, because now sustainability, ESG, and other things are also are becoming important. So now these things are also becoming and included in the analysis when you are trying to select the suppliers. So companies like Unilever Group, companies like Siemens, they are trying to uh, use this artificial intelligence technology in their supplier selection process, supplier rating process, identifying the best of the best suppliers so that they can get the best rates, best raw material in the time, and they can go ahead with the long-term collaboration or partnership with the suppliers. This is from the manufacturing side of it. Now I'm like to put some light on in terms of how AI can be used in terms of if we talk about India per se. So we see that a lot of food is wasted every year. Almost 1% of our GDP is wasted in terms of food wastage. 40% of food wastage is there in India. There are a lot of reports by various bodies across the year that 30 to 40% of food, especially the agricultural products, are being wasted. So how to improve that agriculture supply chain? So to make that agriculture supply chain in India more resilient and less of identifying the waste, more of identifying the waste and trying to find some kind of solution, more of demand-driven supply chain softwares or demand-driven supply management practices are being applied with the help of artificial intelligence technology. One of them is like how to manage and check the temperature of the cold chain. So with the artificial intelligence technology, you are now able to see and understand that, okay, this is the temperature, this is where the temperature is going down, the crops are there or the produce is there. So how and what management you need to take, or what decision you need to take, or even if you want machine to take decisions on against you, what can be that to manage that situation to improve the shelf life of the produce or product. Another important thing is in terms of delivery route optimization. You want your vehicles to be reached to the grocery stores or nearby stores and in time, intact, so that your product quality is optimum. So all this delivery route optimization, network optimization, cold chain network optimization, all this activity is now being handled by artificial intelligence enabled technologies and softwares. That is why now you will see that and in fact companies are integrating AI based modules in their other WMS and TMS kind of systems to manage their logistics and supply chain operations. So this is something related to the artificial intelligence aspect of. Another important aspect that I want to talk about is about generative AI. So earlier we were in from the era of curative AI, like you log on to YouTube and you were searching for some videos, and ultimately and you will get some videos. After some time you will get some videos only based on your likings. So this was something which is more of curative AI. The AI earlier was also there, like Dr. Akhil also highlighted about the same, that we were in the AI era. It is just that we now are seeing more about and understanding about its potential and importance, and we are moving towards more and more adopting it in different ways. So how the companies are using now the generative AI, and just to give you a fact about the generative AI global market, is like almost it is growing at a rate of more than 20% CAGR, and companies have projected, or research firms in fact have projected, that there will be almost 20 billion US dollars of investment by 2028 in terms of the AI or generative AI specifically. If I talk about, then it is that is there. So this is something from the global perspective, the Indian perspective, the supply chain aspect of it in terms of AI. I would just like to, because you are an expert, Mr. Ritvik, from the human resource. So I just wanted to know about the human aspect of it, that how the role of HR can be changed with respect to kind of implementation of AI and creating a worker-less system, if you can say, or if you can throw some light on how artificial intelligence can help in terms of human resource management as well.
Well, that's a very debatable and an interesting question, I would say this, because being in the field of HR, we need to understand the problems of human resources which are faced by the HR department. So when we talk about the problems of any HR, the biggest problem of any HR is retention. We may talk about retention, we may talk about the performance appraisal systems. And the question which you have asked, it leads me towards the question that what is the role of human being in future when AI is in place? I'm sure that a lot of debates might have been heard by the participants, And I'm sure that Dr. Akhil, as well as you, Dr. Shantanu, would be in a better position to answer this question. But if I just share my insights on this, that as you said, as Dr. Akhil said, we learn from our mistakes. So AI helps us to eliminate our mistakes. It helps us to interpret the data better. Now, if I talk about one of the important aspects of HR, that is recruitment. So now recruitment doesn't start overnight. We need to plan a lot of things. When we need to have some resources at the place, we need to have lots of HR planning. That what kind of human resource we would require in the organization who can perform this task. And the planning starts uh, with some precautions, with some analysis, and to help plan those HR needs well, we need some analytical tools. So let's say I'm working in the domain of the biggest example is of COVID. COVID changed the industries drastically. There was a biggest transformation in the era of logistics and supply chain. You could just be able to relate that everything was online. The only source of happiness, the only source of reducing stress was through purchasing something online, getting it delivered at our places. So what played role at that time was the role of the vendors, the role of the suppliers. With this shift in the demand, with this shift in the interest of people, which also gave a rise to the online uh, this interaction. Perhaps we are able to connect today just because of this drastic transformation. Now, in this era, lots of demands are changed. So what HR used to demand earlier, now they demand something else. They demand human resource who are volatile, who can work in any given conditions with flexibility. If I need to have this kind of resources, I need to give some commands to the machines accordingly, which will help me fetch the data, which will help me analyze the data, and which will help me ultimately take the decisions. So with the rise of AI, HR's task can be reduced drastically, dramatically. We need someone who can understand the processes well. We just need to ensure that it should be always the human beings who can manipulate the system. It should not be the other way around, wherein the system manipulates the human beings. Because ultimately, as Dr. Akhil said, that we learn from our mistakes. We have our brains. We have got this analytical ability, which no other machines could have ever had, or even if no matter to whatever extent we try developing the technologies, we cannot help or develop any tools which can think the way human being thinks. So yes, with the great combination of humans analytical ability and the machines, we can reduce the task of HR. We can simply help the organizations grow and move towards the missions and visions of it. We can have a lot of discussion on this topic, but amidst all these things, when we are talking about the human resource management and when we are talking about the AI's role in HR, I would like to ask this question to Dr. Akhil, that how how do you see the role of AI? What job opportunities can the Gen Z people have in future in the domain of AI? How AI can help them fetch new opportunities? So what's your views on this, Dr. Akhil?
Okay, so I want to be as honest as possible that no one knows exactly what's going to happen in the next 3 years. And I tell you why, because we are in constant touch with industry all the time. And I can assure you, you go to LinkedIn and check it out. Every 6 months, the role is changing. Every 6 months, the
True.
role is changing. I remember, I think Shantanu will be agreeing with me. There was a time for blockchain, there was a time for metaverse. And all of a sudden, ChatGPT came in, all of them went to dustbin and and then and the best part of all is that every time a new technology came in, there was a new job role came out of it. Okay, I'll give you one more example. Blockchain came out with security auditors. That's the major role which came out. Smart contract developers. Metaverse came out with chief metaverse officer. AI came out with NLP engineer, machine learning engineer, AI auditor, ethical AI officer who takes care of the understanding whether the ethical consideration has been done or not. But none of them have a credible profile as of yet. I mean, the sense it's all there. Maybe recruitment happened, but we don't even know exactly whether this is going to be a long run perspective or not. But let me take you one step back, Ritvik, about the job profile. See, I think we are trying to not we. I would say as a public, I would say we are trying to jump the gun so early for that matter. In a sense, if you look at AI is not yet developed. What you see, Chat GPT is a fraction of what AI can do. Okay, so we are yet to see what exactly AI is. Same goes to blockchain. Same goes to metaverse. And within 2 to 3 years, if you look at Sam Altman, what he's doing with OpenAI, or Apple, which is coming out with a new Pro headset, or if you look at Facebook, came out with Quest 3, all of them are going to merge, not as a company, but as a technology. I mean, AI itself has no rule. I mean, look at from what Shantanu has said about the supply chain. Let me take it from there, agriculture supply chain. Unless and until you have the supply chain done and you put AI on it, it works. It doesn't work automatically. I mean, there's a supply chain completely done. The same way, all of the technology is IoT, especially whatever you both were discussing as an example, the backbone is IoT, not AI. The mobile is able to capture data, the camera is able to capture the data, the computer is able to capture the data. Then comes the role of AI, of perceiving those data into a decision, right? So all these infrastructures are yet to be built. We are not yet in a situation where all these things are come in picture. What happening right now, Ritvik, is a sad state of affair. The companies have lost patience. They want to bet on it as early as possible to get the money. And what happens is the public gets a perception that the technology doesn't work. Metaverse is a gimmick, blockchain is a gimmick, AI, ChatGPT to hai aur kya hai? ये Google का दूसरा version है. Point is
Exactly.
we are not getting into the real stuff because there is no patience anymore in the companies. And to be very frank to you, it is the leaders like Apple and Facebook and Microsoft. They have to take a lead and they have to guide us where things are going to be. We are not going to get under. I want to bet it in front of you. We will not get an era of WhatsApp again. There's a small company coming out with a new technology and it will become a big stuff. Never going to happen. We will have 3 or 4 big companies and they are going to take the decision next forward where it is going to be. So coming to the job profile part, मैं कहानी दो नहीं करूंगा उसी बात सीधा करते हैं. The point here is, first of all, for AI, the most important job which we right now see is of product managers in the management domain. Okay. Now, product management managers are were there for the last 20 years. ऐसा कुछ नहीं कि मैं कुछ गलत अलग से बोल रहा हूँ. But today's product managers who are dealing with AI specifically are slightly different product managers. They know about the technology. They also know about the analysis. They also know the value chain on which this particular technology has been working. These three profiles has to be merged together. I mean, for example, Shantanu's student who's from supply chain is going to work for an AI company. He has to have a hardcore understanding of the supply chain management. He can't just know this AI and do the stuff. That's not going to be. You need to be of that kind of caliber in terms of what kind of supply chain value chain it belongs to and where these products are fit in. Second, I'll also tell you where things are going to be wrong. I mean, where the job is going to be dissolved. Consulting. That's where the majority job is going to be dissolved. Why? Because analysis will be done by AI, reporting is done by AI, and free of cost for that matter. For $20, you can get Chat GPT 4. It makes your presentation, it makes your analysis, it makes your research report much finer than any expert in the world. So consulting needs to redesign. I mean, I'm not saying consulting is going to go out. It's going to be redesigned because that's not the way a consulting anywhere is going to work. That's going to be completely overall change in terms of consulting. What other industry is going to go out? You will have the industry which were taking care of the research, the taking care of the documentation is going to go completely out. You have to redesign this completely. Completely, you have to redesign. Last, which as a faculty I should not, with all pain I'm saying, the PhD also will be redesigned. Because the point is, your outcome of 5 years are done in 1 minute by AI. So what I mean, in Hindi, I want to really put this in Hindi. अपने कुएं में रह के खुश रहने तो अलग बात है. But उस research की कोई value नहीं है दुनिया में उसके बाद. Shantanu is completely hang. His internet is working or not? PhD की बात करते हुए hang हो गया.
No, well, there is always a two side.
No,
There are
absolutely agreeing what you are saying. Like we are seeing that every day. In fact, the kind of papers that are being published now, in fact, the journals are now saying that make sure and you agree to it and you give that authority that you have not used any kind of AI in writing and using that paper, because
No,
many of the articles have been published where you will see that even after publication they have mentioned that I am not the author, and they created kind of actually papers with kind of fake authors, and fake citation and fake references. So it was very confusing. And for eyes, it looked very good. Like you were initially highlighting, for our eyes, it really looked good what Chat GPT or similar kind of softwares did. But that was just looking good. It was not accurate. It is us, the humans, who will have to analyze and derive out what is right and what is wrong. So human intelligence, the natural one, will obviously will be there, and I
No, but
think will change and evolve as we have evolved with
but
calculators,
Shantanu,
computers. Yeah,
Shantanu, just to cut your point, sorry, but adding to your point for that matter,
yeah,
I'm not only saying the ethical part of AI, whether वो paper AI लिखा है कि नहीं लिखा है. I'm
yeah,
saying what is the validity of your effort and research anymore? I
yes,
mean,
AI does
in
the
5 years, the kind of tool you use and
yes,
data you collect,
correct.
AI will be able to do it in 2 minutes. I'm telling you
2 minutes.
frankly, in the next 2 to 3 years. So your research
True.
validity is also going down. I mean, the value of human research is also going down because AI will do it. So I'm
Yeah,
not saying PhD will be dissolved. I'm saying that the time has come to redesign PhD
redesign.
completely. You can't escape AI anymore. I mean, it's like
Absolutely.
SPSS. There was a time 20 years back when people say SPSS must use karo, hand use karo, calculation karo. But SPSS also became part of in vivo became part of the
Part
PhD
of the
research.
process. Yeah,
But now AI also will become part of. But AI is such a disruptive tool that in a legacy PhD system, it doesn't. Come out with with what you call as a PhD research for that matter.
absolutely.
Okay, I mean that's the bigger issue right now, and I'm telling you, Shantanu, I was I think I completed my PhD 7 months before ChatGPT,
Hmm.
and I was looking at ChatGPT after that. Yeah, I took it 6 years, and I wrote the same problem in ChatGPT. He gave me the solution as it is,
Oh,
and I was like, seriously. Then I realized I should question myself. There's no point of hiding. I should question myself that there's a time that the time has come to redesign our way of looking at research.
yes,
Secondly, teaching is going to be disturbed by AI. Let me also put it straight way. Teaching means training. I'm talking about training for that matter. I mean, in industry as well. Your assignment has no validity anymore because students will be able to do it from ChatGPT. Am I right? So the experiential learning is going to come as a more
yes,
predominant job, to be very frank. What is experiential learning?
yes,
For example, if a student has been given an assignment, that assignment should be more experiential. In a sense, you can tell
yes,
him to go to the market and raise or do a consulting for a store to raise to improve the transaction of that particular store or the volume of that particular store or the revenue of that particular store. That's where ChatGPT may not be able to help him.
absolutely.
But if you're telling them on paper assignment that what is this, what is that, how is this, then
Yes,
you are trying to
is
fool
not
yourself.
going to work for that.
That's
So
True.
true.
I think that redesigning of every job. So coming to Ritwik's case, there will be no change in job profile as far as I understand.
Hmm.
That there will be redesign of every job profile. That's exactly
Absolutely.
I'm going to tell.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
I totally agree to your point that there is nothing like a free lunch in this world. You always need to pay some of the other things. And you rightly said that jobs will remain. In fact, jobs will increase. But what will be demanded is the restructuring and the redesigning of the processes. And future will belong to those who will believe in the change. So with this notion, I just want to ask Dr. Shantanu that what are your views on this? That what exactly the supply chain industries are demanding from the universities, or as a university, how we can fill that gap between the industry demands and the curriculum which we are teaching to the students? What are the actual demands and what actions we are taking or we could take probably?
okay, so let me just start with that what actually and how the demand supply gap that we try to is bridged in. So what we do is we are constantly in connect with the industry. So whatever program we develop or we launch, we take the inputs from the industry professionals or experts. Take for example Dr. Akhil. We have uh, insights from him to improve our curriculum, to how to improve the new and emerging technology, he being from the blockchain industry or the emerging technologies like AI and metaverse. He will be better for us to give his inputs and understanding about what he needs in his organization or what the future would be in terms of integrating those technologies, not if not all, if few. Similar is the case with in terms of involving all kinds of stakeholders. So it is not just industry, but also our existing students or the alumni who are actually working in the industry. So they can also say that, yes, this is what we were doing for the last couple of years, but now these things are changed. So you need to incorporate those as well in your curriculum. And this is how we'll try to bridge the gaps. There will be very senior academicians also who can also visualize and envisage and identify that these will be the roles and these will be the learnings and these will be the learning outcomes uh, that you can incorporate in your programs. So we are trying to bridge that skill development gap or knowledge gap with our programs. So the university or UPS on programs that are offered in an online mode are more based on the skills or more trying to bridge the skill gap. So you will see the programs related to the technology management aspect or the renewable energy aspect or the health safety environment, how you can understand and analyze health safety, how you can manage and model and simulate a logistics and supply chain. So these are the things that we with our programs try to do. Apart from the learning that we provide in terms of the online teaching learning, the live classes that we provide, we have a robust learning management system, and within that it actually provides the self-learning material, that small concept-based videos, plus the master classes and expert session from the industry professionals. So it is not the faculty led classes, but also the senior academicians or very senior professionals uh, uh, from the industry giving lecture sessions on the global scenario, how the industry is changing and evolving, and how and what skills you need to improve upon, and you need to think from that perspective, and how you need to evolve in that career journey. So these are some of the aspects that we try to do when we are launching our programs and when we are providing these courses. Another aspect that we cover in this when we provide these programs is like how we can use other OERs and MOOCs in what technology and whatever understanding knowledge we are providing. So we have also partnered with, let's say, Coursera, and we are also providing their courses as well. So it is not just that when you enroll in our programs, it is the faculty who will be teaching the courses, but you can also do some specialized course from Coursera as well. So there are various, all the students get licensed to Coursera courses, and they do and they try to learn, and they can learn any of the courses that are being offered by Coursera as well. So this is something that we as university are trying to bridge the gap we are doing.
Okay. So there are a lot of questions which are coming in just to ask the students that we are definitely going to address your questions once we are done with the. You will be given definitely some time where you will hear the responses from the experts. So what Dr. Shantanu said in nutshell, we are industry driven programs. We work based on the industry needs. It's not that we have designed the course, we just stick to it. We keep on upgrading. You can correct me if I'm wrong, Dr. Shantanu. And we also invite the experts, we invite our alumni to take the sessions for the course modification programs and all. Perfect. Now, my question is to Dr. Akhil, since he is veteran in the field of this technologies, that what exactly in today's scenario, what are the innovative technologies that businesses are investing in order to succeed in this cutthroat competition? What are their focuses? What is the focus area as far
Okay,
as
so there are
technological
four
investment is
pillars.
concerned?
Yeah, there are
Okay.
four pillars. The first is the big data, where they have the throughput, the money is actually going because big data is the pillar for everyone. The
Okay.
second one is spatial experience, which
Mhm.
also include VR, metaverse, and all those augmented realities you can talk about the spatial experience. The third is the backbone technology, which includes blockchain and quantum computing. Quantum computing for making things more faster, and blockchain for recording. And third, but not the and fourth, but the last pillar is the AI. That's the nutshell in which every company is trying. Every leader companies in all the four. I mean, there's no not saying that it's not. It's one in the other. No, it's not. They're in four. Even healthcare, all four they are focusing completely. Now,
Perfect.
where I would say the investment is moving forward to is more towards consumer behavior predictive analysis. In the sense how the consumer is going to do things. I mean, how the consumer is going to behave, purchase. I mean, AI is used in Walmart in terms of when the consumer is going inside to purchase and going outside, that data is captured in such a way that next time the consumer comes, they know which product they may need to highlight because that's the demand for the consumer. I mean, look at from that aspect of it. And
Mm.
same goes to Amazon. Amazon is doing the same thing for logistics and supply chain. I mean, they know exactly and where things where which logistic pathway is more important, which is shortest and all, and those things are done by AI. But as I said before as well, I'm repeating the same thing. AI is only the predictive machine which is doing all those things. The behind the scene is the IoT, the big data, the value chain which is building all those things, right? Which is before controlled by human, now it's being controlled by AI. So that's the nutshell of exactly how the things are moving forward to. But I would also add to that where we are and why we are taking time. The first is the internet. That we have developed all those technologies, but we don't have the potential internet across end to end. So that's the challenge which we have to focus on. The second thing is we don't have an infrastructure for that matter. I mean, in the sense we talk about a lot of AI and other things, but to be very frank, we are the only country as a country. We are the only country where OTT is penetrated more than the AI. So you have more villagers watching OTT Prime than any AI devices in the village. So I mean that's the gap which has to be filled up. So I mean these are the challenges which if we are able to do that, I think we have a much more better view of exactly where the AI is moving. Yeah.
Okay, exactly. Now, this is the question which I would like to ask to both of you, because when we are thinking about sustainability, growth should not come at the cost of the sustainable environment. It's like biting the hand that feeds us. We cannot take the nature and we cannot just replace the nature at any point of time, at any cost. We cannot have the development at the cost of the environment. So, how in today's era companies are investing in the digital transformation? And do you really believe that the digital investments, the digital transformations can help us to bring the greener economy?
I think Shantanu should answer it first, I would say. Then I'll come for the last.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, I was doing a research on how the technology, especially the AI, is helping in improving and kind of in terms of sustainability. So you will find a lot of articles that are being published in Elsevier and Emerald as well, where they are talking about how this artificial intelligence is helping in terms of sustainable operations, whether it is healthcare sector, education, or it is in any sector. And rightly highlighted by Dr. Akhil that it is AI at the backstage. It is the other technologies like your IoT, Internet of Things, and let's say, for example, so, drone based technology combined with artificial intelligence, how this will help in terms of last mile delivery operations. So, your drone is delivering the products at your doorstep, your fuel cost is getting reduced. And this is how, in terms of sustainability, in terms of carbon emission, you are helping. Now, imagine of a situation that there are multiple drones flying and they are delivering the packages at your at the doorsteps, and the amount of in terms of environmental sustainability, in terms of fuel consumption and carbon emission, is being reduced with that, like the services by Amazon Prime. So if this kind of situation or systems are getting in place with the help of AI, where the artificial intelligence at matching the addresses and delivering the cargo and delivering the packages at the accurately at those addresses where the destination is being mentioned, will be a very significant thing. But again, there comes a question of how the ethical part or how the security aspect of it is there. So because of the with the evolution of this kind of technology, the security concerns are also in place, and that is why you have seen in the last couple of months European Union as passing an act related to artificial intelligence. I think a day or two back, even Prime Minister Modi also highlighted about how we can manage that artificial intelligence to regulate it. Like government is also trying and putting in some effort in managing the drone and drone-based delivery system. They're putting some kind of regulation on that. Similarly, in terms of artificial intelligence, because rightly highlighted Dr. Akhil that we don't know the future exactly. So how to manage that? It is that at least whatever we know as of now, we put a kind of certain restriction, put a certain bracket to it, so that at least it should not harm the environment when we are, or when I'm talking about the environment, it is the humans, the any kind of human being or life which is there on earth. So with the evolution of technology, the drone-based delivery system, or when you talk about healthcare, how the fast delivery of medicines from in the remote areas, like there are examples of beyond visual sight of delivery of products in the remote areas of northeastern part of India, and to some parts in the Himachal Pradesh and JNK as well, uh, that how these are being delivered. So these kind of technologies and these kind of technologies backed by artificial intelligence will be interesting to see in future as well. I think that is something that, and especially with more and more generative AI aspect
Okay, perfect.
coming picture.
It's amazing to know from the technical front. Now over to Dr. Akhil that how would like to answer this question.
Whatever he has said, just to superimpose the same thing what he has said. But I have a contradiction slightly here in the sense I have see, sustainability has two aspects. The first is sustainability of business, the sustainability of environment. Okay, so sustainable business is whether the jobs are going to be remain in AI or not. That's the first thing, and the second thing is whether the environment impact will happen or not. So look at the first one. The first one is whether the job will remain or not. So I want to answer this question to all the audience here. Imagine that AI has taken all the jobs. All the jobs. So if AI takes all the jobs, as a human being, you don't have any money. Am I right? So whatever AI is going to produce, who is going to buy? So the point I'm trying to tell you is the market is driven by the consumer. The consumer is human being. It's not a species, it's not machine or anybody else. So job will never go. These are all gimmicks created by the companies. The job will always remain because ultimately, because of your job, the company is able to make you buy product. Okay, so ultimately they will make sure that you have money to buy something. Okay, so job will never go. That's for sure. It will never go. Second thing is the environment. I really don't think AI is going to impact environment positively or negatively. The reason I tell you why. Shantanu said absolutely right. Absolutely right. When you are using AI supply chain or in aviation or anything, there will be reduction in oil expenditure. There will be reduction in oil usage or carbon footprint will go down. Everything is said is rightly. But the human ambition is the reason for environment disaster. अगर मैं कंपनी को ये बताता हूं कि एआई से आपका पेट्रोल आधा हो जाता है फ्लाइट का, तो वो एक की जगह 3 फ्लाइट चलाना शुरू कर देगा. समझे आप? पोल्यूशन का कोई फर्क नहीं पड़ने वाला. आई वांट टू बी वेरी हिंदी में इसलिए बोल रहा हूं ना, उसका इमोशन तभी आता है. ठीक है, अब मैं बता रहा हूँ साफ साफ. ठीक है, अगर आप ये बोलोगे कि एक मोबाइल फोन बनाने में एआई अगर लगाते हैं तो प्लास्टिक कब लगेगा, तो एप्पल 10 और मोबाइल फोन बनाएगा. एवरीबडी थिंक्स ऑफ प्रोडक्टिविटी, नोबडी थिंक्स कि चलो भाई 4 बन गया, आई एम हैप्पी. यू अंडरस्टैंड द होल पॉइंट. पोल्यूशन हैपेंस फ्रॉम देयर. ऑयल कंज्यूम करके गाड़ी चलाने से पोल्यूशन नहीं होता है. एक ही आदमी 4 गाड़ी रखता तब पोल्यूशन होता है. so see, the consumer and the producer both are ambitious. The economics works that way. Okay, so you do more than what is required is what the balance is getting out of order. That's exactly the whole point is. So once AI is going to tell the producer that I'm going to reduce your cost, they will buy more things for the consumer. That's the problem. And so the carbon footprint remains the same. इंडिविजुअल यूनिट में कम कर रहे हो एआई से, बट ओवरऑल अगर इकोसिस्टम की बात करो बराबर हो गया सब कुछ, क्योंकि आपने उतने ही फ्लाइट और खरीदे, उतना ही आपने बिजनेस और बढ़ा दिया, लोग कंज्यूमर और बढ़ गए, प्लास्टिक और यूज हो रहा है. आई होप अंडरस्टैंड. सो technology is not the answer for environment, it is the human conscious. That's the reason the G20 everybody is talking about it कि भैया आपका ambition क्या है ये बताओ clearly. ठीक है, because if you that goes out of order, I mean, that's the bigger problem. I hope you understand what I'm trying to say.
Absolutely.
So one thing. Second, also, so I have answered the two things. First, whether the job will go or not, I have given the exact logic. The reason why Bullock Cart के बाद जब automation आया, तब भी job जा सकता था, वो नहीं गया. उसका रीजन ह्यूमन नहीं, उसका रीजन ये है कि ह्यूमन ही खरीदता है. तो आपको पैसा देना ही पड़ेगा उसे. तो जॉब रहेगी no matter what. But it will redesign. But the producer will forcefully give you job. Don't worry. That will never happen. Will never happen. कि job नहीं आपके पास. Second thing is environment. Technically, Shantanu is absolutely right. Technically, that's why you rightly said he's technically answered. Technically very right. But business ऐसे काम नहीं करता दोस्त. आपने जैसे ही उसको बताया कि कॉस्ट कम हो रहा है, वो एक जगह की जगह 2 यूनिट और खरीद लेगा. That is how the producer works. तो एनवायरमेंट में कोई फर्क नहीं पड़ने वाला. Sorry.
That is the harsh
Anyways,
reality, but we need to accept it.
Absolutely.
yeah,
Absolutely.
sure.
And also a sigh of relief for all those who are worried about their jobs. As rightly said by Dr. Akhil, there will be jobs, even jobs would be doubled, but the nature of jobs would be shifted. Now, it's very important for all the participants to know that what actions are taken by UPS on, which can help the professionals stand apart. Now, what edge they can carry over the others in this cutthroat competitive environment, why they should pursue this opportunity with UPS on, and what are the different pedagogical aspects in which we keep on educating them about and we make them the skillful resources. What are your views on it, Shantanu, Dr. Shantanu?
Okay, so like I was in the previous question and also highlighted about not only including the faculty-led classes, but also involving industry professionals, senior academicians in the classes, discussing more from the case perspective, the
Yes.
case-based teaching methodology that we use or pedagogy we use.
Mhm.
It is more of the case-based or situation-based. Say, for example, I am giving an example of the Tesla's plant in US. So imagine it is more than 90 to 95% is managed by robots. So how in the future jobs would be? Because in the assembly line, if everything is being done by robots only, where are the jobs gone? So now the skill has changed. People are now being required to manage those robots. They will not manage and operate on their own. You will require humans to manage those robots. So job role is changed. Job is there, job role is being enriched, job role is being changed. Similar is the case with in terms of technology, when we are seeing that how roles will be changed in terms of AI. So AI will give, let's say, generate multiple pictures, let's say, and let's say there is a designer who needs to identify, so he can get a picture from some generative AI platform like Dolly or something. But it is like the designer's imagination who can actually identify and think and make it more creative, look more creative, and identify and select that this is the best one, how and what we can fit in, and how we can make it the one of the best pictures that can be used in, because AI will generate multiple things. It is us, the humans, the designer, the creative mind of ours who has to take the decisions in that case. Similar is the case with in terms of when we are teaching. So whether it is using technology in our classroom. So we are also in terms of when we are teaching. So it is integrating technology. Now, how we are integrating technology with various technology tools, such as, for example, Padlets, Quizlets. So the moment you are in the class, you are not only discussing with the faculty, but also you are in the real time itself, you are doing some activity, quiz or task or something that is actually what Dr. Akhil also highlighted about experiential learning, that you are learning and you are actually immediately you are trying to apply it. So that is something which we as online learning service providers we do. Another aspect that I specifically want to highlight upon, the way we teach and the kind of experience and the expertise that we have. We are one of the domain focused industry, one of the first domain focused university in Asia, and you can compare the ratings, the rankings of UPES. It is visible online everywhere. You can check the NAC score, the every year that the ranking, how it is going. And I'm not just talking about the Indian ranking that we have, it is like global QS kind of ranking, or the programs being ICB and other accreditations that we get. So it is like the trust that is built on, and the alumni base that we have, it is the trust that the UPS as a brand has created, and because of which the large amount of almost more than 5,000, 6,000 alumni that specifically in terms of online learning I'm talking about, that we have. Uh, Plus the kind of connect that you have with the faculty, plus our support team, which also tries to help you in terms of assistance, in terms of your career enhancement. So there will be not just classes related to the subject, but also there will be special sessions dedicated to your personal development. And when I talk about personal development, it is not just how to speak in an interview or how to crack an interview, but also how to make your overall personality look great. And when I'm talking about personality in this technology era, it is not just the physical personality, but also your virtual personality. Say, for example, your LinkedIn profile, how your LinkedIn profile should look like so that it can retain and attain attention, or catch attention of more of the recruiters there. How your LinkedIn profile, your other social media profile should look like, how that should perform. So similar is the case with using the technology, helping the student in overall development, so that after completing your course, you just not be an MBA or a transactional manager, but you ultimately go and become a transformative manager or
So, well,
transformation.
thank you so much, Dr. Shantanu. So, all in all, if I put in these words, technological integrations, involvement of the industry experts, and bringing practicality through our domain-specified courses are our USPs.
Yeah.
Now, since we are left with around 10 minutes, we would like to take all questions which are raised by the participants. I'd like to request Dr. Shantanu to address these questions. Now, the first question is of Prashant, and he asked that, what are the ethical considerations and responsible use of AI in our industry? Dr. Shantanu, I'd like to request you to restrict yourself to the answers in a minute's time so that we can address all the questions. Yeah, you are muted.
Yeah, okay. So I think there are a lot of questions. I can also see a couple of them. I don't know whether we will be able to answer all of these, but I'll
Yes.
quickly try to give some of the points. And I think Dr. Akhil will especially help in this aspect of using ethically the technology part. I just gave some of the recommendations that European Union has come up, or US is also working on the area of creating and developing some kind of regulation in terms of artificial intelligence specifically. India is also in the same pace, has also trying to, and they have formed a body and regulatory body in terms of managing the artificial intelligence specifically. So government is definitely coming up with some kind of regulation. They have come up with in terms of blockchain. So I mean, Dr. Akhil will be the best one to highlight about it. And in terms of AI also, how the ethical aspect will come into picture, and how that is why he identified and explained about a role of ethical AI manager or ethical AI officer. So how those kinds of role will be helping. Dr. Akhil will be right to answer. I will go back to him. So Dr. Akhil, your inputs on this.
We're talking about
Thanks,
ethical
thanks for
considerations.
the gesture, Shantanu. You would have answered it properly. I know it. But anyways, so I want to add in a quick manner. So first of all, the issue with AI is the originality. You're not able to understand what is the real, what is unreal. That's some major issue with AI. The fake is one of the issues. Document is one of the issue. Fake, original document, all those things. So sense of ownership is something which government is looking at. That's why blockchain is coming into picture. That by blockchain, what happens is the document can have an ownership, exactly who owns that particular data. So that way you can have the differentiation between what is real, what is unreal. But I want to also add slightly that every technology, if you look at last 100 years, regulator is not able to tackle it completely. Technology only tackled by technology. I mean, it's like governing Google and Facebook for your data. I mean, how much it worked. It doesn't work at all. I mean, how much it works in Instagram, it doesn't work. The reason is because the government is not technology savvy. They, even if they try to regulate, unless they have a proof, they cannot take action. So I mean, it's a very catch-22 situation. So the answer to this question of AI is ethically that every company needs to use the technology which is more proper and guiding in principle. So I would say that that's why I think I started the first thing, the metaverse, blockchain, and AI. All three are one. I mean, it cannot have the other way of looking at it. Blockchain is required to governance. Okay, and spatial is the new virtual world will require metaverse, and AI is the mind behind all those things. I mean, that's how it should pillar out. I mean, that's how it will be pillared out. So I think that's how I think the nutshell is that we will have more technological audit security which will come out, and blockchain is the one pillar of it by which this the issue of ethical consideration of AI can be resolved in the future.
Okay, wonderful. Now we have very relevant question by Sneha. I mean, which every student would like to understand that what specific AI applications or tools should I learn that you recommend for our sector? So in brief, if you could just help, although we have talked about many things here, if we would just like to answer in one line, what would be your answer, Dr. Shantanu?
I would say that it would be better to you learn about more about the industry or domain that you are planning to make career in. If you have thorough and master knowledge of that, going further you will ultimately be understanding, and there will be new application and new tools every day you are seeing, and there are a transformation in terms of technology, and
Mhm.
one day you learn this, another day there will be an advanced version of that, then you will learn that, and even all the companies also invest in that. There are in fact related to the free and open source understanding, just the basic understanding of it, even whether it is platforms like LinkedIn, whether it is platform like Amazon, whether it is platform like Microsoft, or even Google. Everybody is providing basic understanding of AI course for free, for
That's
free.
amazing.
So it is not just if you want to learn basics and go in further, it is up to you. But my first suggestion would be expert of your area, which you would be I mean that would be taking you to heights. AI is today, uh, I
Exactly.
don't know how the shape will form and what way it will take in future, but your career, your sector, your industry where you are trying to make career in will be going in for a longer period. So you have to have understanding or thorough knowledge of that. Technology will definitely be play a vital role. Maybe technology 6 years down the line there will be newer technology, more even advanced with AI. Then what will you do? So that is why technology plays a second role. It is even in ed tech, there is ed that plays very important role. Text comes at the backstage.
Exactly. So answer is continuous improvement. We should keep on learning.
Absolutely.
We should grab the opportunities which are around us, right? We should
Yes.
focus on the fruits which are hanging lower.
Yes. I
Perfect.
think
Now,
there is question by Adil, I
Adil,
think,
I
has
think we have
asked
already
about
answered to this. You,
yeah
if you have something to
advantages and
add,
disadvantages. So uh, 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 till now we are seeing lot of advantages. It is and we have discussed thoroughly about advantages. It is like we should not become very dependent on that technology.
okay.
Like what happens is we actually, and I was looking at an article that has published a couple of years back, and some AI they have published it with using some AI tool, and it was mentioned that it is AI that has created this, and instead of citation it has mentioned the name of that AI software and something like that, and uh, uh, that actually got published as well. So this is something that we are actually completely getting dependent on the technology. So it is one of the disadvantage with this AI as well, that you as the expert, you as the professional have to take the decision. AI will just help you in removing some of or helping you in doing some minuscule task in future.
Perfect. Well, we
uh,
have Arumugam Lokanathan. He's asking about SEM. Always SEM is HI and AI. How the AI will give impact on demand-driven planning methodology. Now it is based on BI and HI based on history and projection.
okay, so I think HI, I guess, is human intelligence and then artificial intelligence, if I'm not wrong. So
Could
definitely,
be, yes,
human intelligence obviously will be
on
is
the
having
higher
and
end.
will be obviously will be having an upper edge in every any of the sector, whether it is supply chain or healthcare or education or anything. But it is the technology that how we are using those technology in helping and making our lives and jobs easier.
Exactly.
I think we'll just quickly rush and then try to
We could
wind up.
take one last question.
Yeah, I think this is for in terms of agriculture. So
Yes,
yes,
yes.
you have I was explaining because one of my area of research was also agriculture supply chain, and I explained you about the severity of the food wastage and food losses that we have in the entire supply chain. And three things actually I want to highlight and point out with the artificial intelligence. Those can be in terms of this is not being solved. In fact, when I was working in the industry, I was also kind of trying to develop some kind of IoT based sensor or technology, or was involved in trying to reduce the wastage of post harvest losses that we have in terms of agriculture sector. So specifically in terms of artificial intelligence, there are technologies or which will help in identifying the self shelf life estimation. So looking at the crop, like the vision picking accuracy will be improved. Your image processing accuracy will be improved with the artificial intelligence. So with that image processing accuracy being improved by the AI, and your shelf life estimation becoming more and more accurate, you as whether it is a grocery owner, grocery shop owner, or a distributor, or a company that is working in the hyperlocal platform, will be able to understand and identify and suggest that this will be discounted at this price and sold, or this will be pushed forward in the market early as possible. So this is how the shelf life estimation will work, or what amount of quantity you need to store for a longer period of time. Then another aspect in terms of demand route optimization, demand or sorry, delivery route optimization. So in terms of last mile delivery operation, we have serious problems, and artificial intelligence will help you in identifying the best navigational route, identifying where the your toll plazas are more, where your road is damaged. So at the real time, when you have the GPS navigation and even Google Maps, but it all those technologies will be enhanced with the use of artificial intelligence, and you will be getting best route alternatives with least amount of hurdles, so that your delivery efficiency is increased. Third thing, in terms of the cold chain network development or management. So in terms of perishable products, we need cold chain for at various places, and how this will be going forward will be managed to manage the temperature, check the criticality of it, and identify that whatever food or crops are there, or agricultural perishable products are there, how they will be delivered at the right time. So all these things, specifically in terms of if we talk about agriculture supply chain, will be going further. We will be seeing.
Okay, well, it brings an end to this insightful discussion on the artificial intelligence role in supply chain management. At the outset, I'd like to extend my sincere thanks to Dr. Shantanu and Dr. Akhil for accepting our invitation and showing up today out of the busy schedules and throwing lights on these important aspects. Not only for the participants, for me personally also, it was an eye opener, and it was such a learningful session that it will help the career aspirants in all the possible ways. At last, I'd like to say thanks to all the participants who joined today and who acted as a sincere and the careful listener. Thank you so much for your support. And here we end this session. I hope that you take the best possible career choice of yours. Thank you so much and wish you all the best.
Yeah, thanks. Especially Dr. Akhil, I want to thank a lot, because he is a great support in terms of whenever we try and reach and want to take his inputs in organizing these kinds of sessions, or having some inputs related to in terms of technology usage as well. He is the one being an CEO, and as well as an academician, a senior academician, I would say. He takes time for us. So thank you, Dr. Akhil.
Thank you so
Really
much.
appreciate. I mean, really appreciate a lot. And specifically I mean, you are the moderator of the day, and in fact you are one of the best we have in terms of human resource, and
That's
the knowledge that you share here related
that's my
to
pleasure.
the human management as well. that is phenomenal. So thank you, Ritvik. Thank you, Dr. Akhil.
Thank
From
you so
my
much.
side, thank you. Sign off.
Okay.
Thanks,
Thank
Shantanu.
you.
Thanks, Ruthik. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Wish you all a great weekend.